Hey, you're hanging out in the Link Up Lounge. I'm Tiffany Mason.
And I'm Donna Ruppel. Around here, we believe success isn't just about what you know, it's about who you link up with. This is your lounge for turning one link into endless opportunities.
Donna, it blows my mind that the two of us have over 30 years of combined networking experience.
I know. We've built businesses, expanded networks, and created unstoppable momentum, all through the power of strategic connections.
AKA networking. And now we're here to guide you to do the same, starting today.
So let's dive in, connect, and start making moves you didn't even know were possible. Welcome back to the Link Up Lounge. I'm Donna Ruppel, your Nocatee real estate expert, and I am here with my co-host, Tiffany Mason of Virtually You, the boutique podcast management agency.
This is your lounge for turning one link into endless opportunities. And today we're talking about a recent speed networking event that was put on by some of our members as a collaboration because, Don and I held one in January, but the funny part was we didn't really get to participate because we were facilitating the event. Well, I was. What happened to you, Donna?
Well, it was devastating because unfortunately, I was so excited about this event. Like we were so excited when we decided to pick doing a speed networking event. Unfortunately, on our event back in January, I got super sick like hours before the event. And it was devastating because I ultimately had to call out and miss the event completely.
So when the other group said, yeah, we're going to do a speed networking event, Donna and I were like, okay, second chance.
Yeah.
Because when we had our event, Donna was 6 and it was only me. So I was walking around having to make sure everybody was having a good experience. I didn't get to speed network. So this was our opportunity.
I was so excited. I was like, it's come back around. I get a speed network.
Yeah.
So today we are excited to welcome the owner of Wild Grazey, Megan Renner. Welcome, Megan.
Hi, thanks for having me.
We are so excited to hear you share your perspective on this event, the connections you made, and why networking continues to be such an important part of growing your business. So let's dive right in. When you were first approached about the speed networking event, what made you want Wild Grazey to be a part of it?
Well, I liked the idea. I have to be honest, I've never done a speed networking event. So this was my very first one. I was part terrified and part excited because I have a very short attention span. So like having a 15-minute long conversation is like, oh no, I don't want to do that. 90 seconds, 2 minutes. Hell yeah, let's do that. So I had mixed emotions. I was actually comfortable with the part in being a vendor and bringing like snacks and that kind of stuff, because that's always a very easy conversation starter for me. That kind of takes the edge off a little bit. But I was pleasantly surprised after a couple of rounds, talking to a couple of people. I was definitely less nervous. And I couldn't believe how many people I got to like meet in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, that's definitely the benefit of speed networking. Well, and I think I felt the same way that, we got to plunk along the line. And it was really fun too that it was a collaboration of a couple of different of our chapters of Bond and Beyond. So I personally got to meet a couple of people that I've seen the name, but I haven't met the person. So it was great to put a face to the name. Even though I was aware of the person, I got to actually meet them and learn about their business too. So I would agree with that. Now, Megan, as the owner of a charcuterie business, why did this collaboration, this speed networking event, feel like such a good fit for you and your brand?
So a couple of different reasons. I have a very strong opinion that food kind of makes things easier. It's always like it gives you something to do with your hands. It can be a conversation starter. And so I think it's really good for networking events because it gives you a reason to say something like, oh, this cheese was really good. Or, oh, did you try that?
Or did you see the pepperoni rose? Yeah. Nobody touched the pepperoni rose because...
Yeah. Did you like that flour made out of prosciutto? It's like the ultimate icebreaker, especially if it's done in a way. Like at different events, I do different types of spreads. And so sometimes it's a focal point. Sometimes it's just like a grab and go. But it kind of breaks the ice a little bit for everybody coming in there. So I needed that for me too. So maybe partly selfish reasons on why I wanted to do it.
Well, saying that you set it up differently, I know that when we did a panel event, you had done a grazing table for us. And this event, there were some different things. What were we dipping in the yogurt? I thought this is not a good idea, but it was delicious. What were we dipping into the yogurt?
So there are a couple of things, and this was a collaboration too. So I had like caprese with salami and prosciutto flowers, and then we did charcuterie shots. And then the dip was actually a collaboration with Nicole, the leader of my group who does isogenics, one of her new dips, and we had watermelon French fries in there.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was
And
kind
it was
of
so good.
Yeah, a couple of different things kind of in there that we got to do. So that was kind of nice too.
Nice. Yes, it was so good.
Delicious.
After everything was set up, you were able to jump in and participate in the networking too. What was the value of experiencing the event from both sides, as the business owner providing a service and as someone making new connections?
Well, it was nice for me because I already had a segue in, right? So you introduce yourself. Hey, I'm Megan. I'm with Wild Grazey Charcuterie. Oh, charcuterie. Yeah, this is mine. Oh, and so it's a very easy transition into a conversation, which I think is sometimes the hardest part of networking is like breaking the ice to have that initial conversation without feeling like you have to interrogate somebody, right? And like pepper them with questions. So that was always nice. It was just an easier lead into that conversation. But there were so many people and so many different businesses. It was kind of interesting to get I got a different perspective and, oh, well, maybe I could do this. Or it gave me a lot more ideas in meeting people in different genres of business, I guess. But also I'm like the hype woman. So every person I talk to, I'm like, oh, you should talk to this person. When you meet this person,
a natural
you should
connector.
you should talk to this person, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was kind of how that went for me.
Well, and how nice for like you in introducing your business. It's like, yeah, that's my stuff up there. So it's like, I mean, that would be awesome if you could have like your own display of your business at every networking event, right? Yeah, that's awesome. So because it was your charcuterie spread there at the event, and we also, as part of that collaboration of the event, there was social media content creation happening at the event as well. Did you get some great content for your business that you can use in your social media?
So fun fact, I'm a little crazy on my social media. There's no shame in my game. I will dance around. So of course I was the person that they were like, you're going to have to go up there and get some content. You got to go up there and do that. So I got several videos actually that I was able to kind of rework and use some of my charcuterie shots in it. So that was good. But even in just talking to Vanessa, I got a couple of ideas of some other things that I could do. So that was kind of cool. And she did a really cool, like a viral trend for the whole thing and tagged everybody in it. So that was kind of cool too.
Yeah, but she was giving us ideas.
Yeah.
It was fun to speed network, but then also walk away with a little bit of content creation. Well, that makes sense because it was the sip and shoot social. So we were there to try some products and to do some speed networking, socialize, and make some content. So that was really a well thought out idea there. So once you got into the speed networking itself, Megan, what was the experience like? I know you touched on it a little bit that, you found it kind of easy to get going once you got going. Was there anything about the format that kind of surprised you?
So like I said, I've never done this before and I've never done like speed dating or like anything like that. So the whole thing was kind of new to me. I was so happy that I didn't have to move. I was in one of the chairs that was like stationary. So like I didn't know that that's how they did it. That like like a bunch of people sat and then like half of the group like moved, kind of in a thing. And so that kind of surprised me a little bit, but it was very efficient. So I was really happy I didn't have to move and I got to stay in my seat. It's interesting because I could see where an event like that, you could change the time frame, if you wanted to have a more in-depth conversation or if there were less people. We had a good bit of people there. But if you wanted to have like a deeper conversation, an idea that had come to me was like troubleshooting. That's something we've kind of been talking about now. Like, what are some problems that you're having right now in your business? That kind of thing. Like maybe a longer time if you were there trying to spitball like solutions. I could see where
we kind of just did that in one of our recent meetings.
Yeah,
that's an interesting idea, Megan.
Yeah, to get like a different perspective on different issues. I think it's a cool format. You could do a lot of different things. So I thought that was kind of a cool concept and saw a couple of different ways it could be used.
Yeah, I will say like one thing I do enjoy about the speed networking is, especially at that event, I felt like we had a really short amount of time to talk. Wasn't it like 90 seconds or something? I mean, it was like
it was
2
short.
minutes.
Maybe 2 minutes. I don't know, something like that.
It was something really short. And so for me personally, it made me think, what do I want to convey about my business in 2 minutes to somebody that maybe they don't know by just my title, I will say personally, during this event, I was moving. I was one that moved in the chairs.
Oh, sorry.
I was a mover too.
But down the row of those that were seated were people that I had previously met. And of the people that were moving were people I had not met. So I was a little bit like, I wish I was in the chairs so that I could have met those people. But what I was surprised about was in this 2 minutes, I was sitting across from people I had met multiple times before at different events, but I learned something new about almost everybody's business in that 2 minutes, And I don't know if it's because they were thinking like me, like I want to feature something that maybe people don't otherwise know about me. But I mean, there was a couple where I was like, I had no idea you did that. And I've known them, So I thought that was a really cool part of also having a very short amount of time to talk. It makes you really hone in and think about what you want to share, I think.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, so Megan, burning question that I have is, when you put these amazing spreads out, first of all, it has to take you forever. I would love just a baby insight into how you learned how to do all of it. And then what do people comment on the most? So, I mean, I'm always very impressed by the meat flowers. Meat flowers, super impressed. But I did learn this time to flip it over. I took a couple petals off and I flipped it back over so nobody knew, because I feel like people are nervous to ruin these beautiful flowers. And I was too, but I took some petals off the back. And then the blueberry almonds, and then at a different charcuterie board that I saw was lemon covered almonds.
Yeah.
I did not realize that we could get different flavored almonds. So I don't know, just my brain is going a million miles a minute thinking about where this is sourced from. And those crackers that you had, I bought them. So this is my favorite part of the whole conversation.
Okay.
What do people talk about? How'd you learn unique things you find?
So, I'm self-taught. I did not go to culinary school. I was in insurance.
Just YouTube?
I was in insurance for the last 20 years. But the last 5 years, I was a corporate trainer. And so I taught people a lot of things. And I always felt like color, and as you can see in my background, I like color. I like bright, colorful things. And so...
and we eat with our eyes.
That is true. I agree.
That's where it starts.
All of my tables are built around color and how they're arranged. So I guess just going back from creating presentations and stuff like that, that's how I did that. And I like to throw parties, and I like to eat, and I like to eat new food. And so I just kind of take all of those things, and kind of learned along the way. And I've been doing this for over 5 years. So it was kind of little by little picking up little things before I, left corporate and did this full time and started doing the bigger spreads. So that's how it's done. No spread is ever the same. I do not plan it out. I just kind of show up and do it.
Ooh, creativity on the fly.
Yes.
That's where I would epically fail. Okay.
Me too.
I would fail if I planned it.
I'd have to bring a picture, and then I'd have to implement exactly how the picture is.
100%.
I can't do that. I can't replicate it. Even if I tried, I wouldn't be able to do it. So I just go off of color and what the vibes are that day, and
oh my gosh,
how it's going. That's my new life.
So what do people talk about the most? What little creations do they comment on the most? What's the biggest icebreaker
So flowers
item?
are always big.
Yes.
The salami flowers I do. I do cheese flowers too out of provolone.
What?
That people always think are butter. And I'm like,
Oh,
it's not butter, but okay. Not butter. But
I never met a charcuterie board with butter on it. That's interesting.
You could get a butter
Why
board
would they think that?
if you wanted. I have a burrata board that's good. But anyway, I digress.
Ooh, yum.
So those are typically the ones I try and find, like unique cheeses, you know, like a purple moon cheddar that's got like swirls and that kind of stuff. Or I try and find interesting cheeses that also taste good.
Amen.
So I do those almonds. So it's so funny that you say that because everybody loves the limoncello almonds, but they were only at Costco and they were sold out.
Okay.
And then everybody's like, where's the almonds? And I'm like, oh God. Okay. So I found a replacement at Aldi that I stocked up on, but then I just found it's a really good almond covered something or other. It's almost like cookies and cream covered almonds, but they don't look like that.
Okay, I don't know if anybody else is salivating, but I am literally like
But there's those, and Costco comes out with different stuff. So that's the other thing too. That's why I don't say exactly what's on every spread because everything's seasonal, right?
Right.
So I don't want to promise you that I'm going to be able to get limoncello almonds if Costco decides that they don't want to carry limoncello almonds anymore, you know?
Which is pretty rude for everybody making charcuterie boards.
I agree.
Right.
There's a couple of things that Costco has really like messed up my life when they stopped carrying some stuff, you know?
We've all been there.
Okay, this is so stupid, but you might appreciate this because you are a foodie. So
I probably will.
So I look at food pictures all the time, right? I take pictures of my food, that kind of stuff. And so I've seen all these things with rainbow radishes. Have you guys ever heard of a rainbow radish?
No.
Okay, so it looks ugly as hell from the outside. It's like a whitish, brownish. It kind of looks like not a radish. It looks like a turnip, kind of. You know what I mean? But if you slice it, it's white on the outside. Then it's like a neon green, and then this fuchsia starburst in the center.
Oh,
and it looks
I think I have seen those.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Okay, do you know how hard it is to find a rainbow radish?
No,
Nobody has.
I can only imagine.
So I found one at Sprouts. I was delighted, which is where your favorite crackers are from, Tiffany. But they had one. I got it. I used it for an event. I went back. Yay, gonna get my rainbow radish. Nope. No more to be found. So, you know, it's kind of like you get what you get. You don't pitch a fit. You know, whatever's in season, you work with
occupational hazard.
Yeah, you know, but I'm still.
That's kind of the cool thing of charcuterie, though, is that you get to try something new that maybe you wouldn't have ever tried before because you don't know where somebody got it from. You know,
like watermelon fries in flavored yogurt. What?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and I wish people would be more adventurous about that too. You know, some people are like, we don't want anything that smells or
all the weird things. I want to try something new.
Me too.
Your charcuterie board actually fails if there's not anything new on it.
Okay. Oh, right. There you go.
Well, as much as I say I'm not a foodie, I do love eating something I've never eaten before. I love that. I like experimenting on eating weird food. I do like that.
Perfect.
Okay, Megan, so we would love to learn a little bit more about you. What would you say your networking style is? And are you somebody who naturally starts conversations, or are you more intentional about it? Or is networking something that's taken practice over time?
That's an interesting question. I would say it's changed over time. When I started out, I was in sales. So you have to talk to everybody, right? And I moved a lot as a kid. So I was always the new kid. So always, you know, having to strike up conversations. Like, if you want to have a friend, you better start talking, lady, you know?
Yep.
So in terms of that, I can initiate conversations pretty well. I can start that conversation. My problem is I ask a lot of questions. I just want to know all the things. And so like this was something that happened at speed networking too, is I'm asking you follow-up questions. Like, never mind my business. Tell me more about HVAC. Like, I want to know, how did you know about, like, how did that come about? You know what I mean? So I'm very inquisitive. I want to learn more about it because I like to put people in connection.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
You enjoy the connection. And if you don't know what they do, you don't know enough background, then you can't make that connection. I completely get that.
You know, this might be bad, but if I don't like you, if you don't have a good vibe, I'm not going to recommend you. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, totally.
So I feel like I need to know a little bit more about you.
I don't think that's bad at all. Donna and I have talked about that on the podcast before.
Yeah.
Like, we're putting our reputation on the line when we refer you.
Right.
So if you don't get a good vibe, then it's probably just not a connection you're going to make. You're not going to do a referral for that person.
Right.
So we also talk about how you show up in the room. Are you showing up, as your best self? Are you representing your company? And if you're coming off salesy, then,
I always used to say you can't sell a salesman, and I did that for so many years, that it's like, listen, dude, this is not going to work on me. So can you just like XYZ?
Cut it and let's be real.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But I'm also a pretty good read of people. So I can generally sum up people in about 5 minutes. So as to like,
watch out, guys, if you meet Megan in the wild.
Sorry. But generally I get a sense of like, if you're genuine and authentic, or, is this, not your thing. You're just doing it this minute, which is the last thing I want to recommend either. But I felt like everybody that came to that speed networking event was all on the same page. We were in similar situations, I guess I would say. Like,
sure.
I love talking to other people who just took that leap. Like, I took that leap. This was my side hustle. And now I'm all in. You know what I mean? And so those kinds of things are easier to have discussions about.
Sure.
I think back to the question, because I feel like I go off on tangents, but back to your question, I do have difficulty if we have absolutely zero to talk about. Like, you don't care about charcuterie, I don't care about underwater basket weaving, like we don't have anything to say. That gets awkward for me if after a while. That did not happen, thank God, at the speed networking event. But I have a hard time if somebody's like giving me one-word answers. I have to kind of move on. And then when I'm done peopling, I'm done peopling. I get to a point like I gave 110%, and now I'm going to go lay in my bed and watch my show with the lights out.
Yeah.
So it does change a little bit.
I think it changes as we evolve and change in our business.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, networking can feel really intimidating for a lot of people. What advice would you give someone who's been thinking about attending an event like this, but still is a little nervous?
You have to put yourself out there. You will never know if you don't try. When I started networking, I was working for somebody else. You know what I mean? And so, the first 20 years of my networking, I'm working for somebody else. It's very different when you're doing it for yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
But it has been the most beneficial thing that I have done for my business. I will tell you that hands down. I have paid for advertising. I have done all kinds of things, but networking has been the one thing that has changed the trajectory of my business since I went full time. 100%. I think there's a lot of reasons for that, but I think the main thing is if you're genuine and you talk to other people and you stay authentic, there are a lot of people in passing, even if you don't need the service right then. Maybe you know somebody who they can connect with or collaborate with, or somebody in passing is like, oh, I need this. And it's like, oh, I know a guy,
you never know who knows who.
Exactly. So if you are nervous, if you're apprehensive, just do it. Be like Nike. Just do it. I will say, I would like to form a petition that I would prefer to have wine with my networking. I hear that that's frowned upon, but
Or margaritas.
Or
We were talking
margaritas.
about in the green room.
Listen, I'll take either. That would make it easier, but the connections that you make and the experience that you get just in presenting yourself makes it a lot easier to do it in the future. You know, especially when people are working on like the elevator pitch and all of that, it only gets better the more you practice it. So even if you get nothing from it other than practice, you got something from it.
Yeah. So it sounds like as a business owner, you would continue to invest your time in networking and building relationships instead of maybe relying only on marketing or social media.
100%. Like I still do social media just because it keeps things fresh in your mind. And also because my business is very visually focused. You know, people, it's about the food, it's about the presentation. And so you could like me, but you not know anything about like what I create or anything like that. But if you go to Instagram, then you get both. I think those are my two main things. You know, I put an ad in a bulletin. I paid for it for a year. I didn't get a single call, not one. And I joined a networking group and my dues were paid in a week, you know, based on what I booked. So that's the way it goes. And I booked so many things off of that just by word of mouth or like collaborations or something like that. So I definitely feel like it's worth it, especially for a business like mine. I could see where maybe your strategy on how you use networking could change based on your business, but it's never going to be a bad thing.
Yep. Networking works. Okay, Megan, before we let you go, where can everybody find you, Wild and Grazey, and learn more about everything that you offer?
I have a website, first of all. It's www.wildandgrazeycharcuterie.com. On my website, it has all of our menus, all of our pricing, you know, all of that stuff. It's very transparent. Like I'm not, you know, it's the same price if you're doing a corporate event than if you're doing a wedding. You know, I know a lot of times people jack stuff up for weddings. I don't do that. Very transparent about that.
Yep.
I'm also on Instagram, Wild and Grazey. It's either Wild and Grazey or Wild and Grazey Charcuterie. I'm also on Facebook.
Well, fear not. Mm-hmm. We will put it in the show notes.
Okay, great.
Okay, we'll get all the links, and then whatever it is, all you guys have to do is click on it.
Okay, great.
Well, Megan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you.
We love learning more about Wild and Grazey and the speed networking event that you guys had collaborated on. And we are so thankful to have you as a member of our Bond and Beyond family. And we really appreciate you actually sharing your experience and your insights on the event.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
That brings us to the networking mode on tip. At your next networking event, introduce yourself to someone outside your usual circle. If you're part of an organization like Bond and Beyond, make it to someone from a different chapter. If you're not, look for a speed networking event in your area. They're very fun. You never know which conversation could become your next collaboration, referral partner, or friendship. Networking mode on.
If today's conversation inspired you to get out and start building meaningful relationships, we'd love to invite you to join us at an upcoming Bond and Beyond event. Visit www.bondandbeyondnetwork.com to learn more about our chapters, upcoming events, and how you can become part of our growing community. Let's keep building those powerful links together.
You've been hanging out in the Link Up Lounge, your lounge for turning one link into endless opportunities.
Now it's your turn. Go make a powerful link today.
Networking mode on.